Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm creating a very easy to duplicate Christmas card. I'm stamping within the City stamp set. I will be stamping onto a piece of vellum that will be die cut with a stitched square. In order to make sure that all of the pieces fit inside the square, I'm using my grid paper and the square to line up everything, well, all of the stamps. I'm going to pick them up all at one time on the acrylic block, which will help me to make sure that my stamping is straight and that it's not going to be too slippery on the vellum. Oftentimes when stamping multiple images on vellum, it's hard to see where you've just put your stamped image. So lining them up together all at one time is one solution to that issue. I'm going to use white embossing powder to emboss onto the vellum. I would like there to be a see-through element so that the snowflakes on the Merry Music Designer Series paper are able to show through the vellum and give it a little bit of a snowy look in the city. Using that stitched square as a guide, I'm now able to line it up straight and go die cut this unit. Adhering any kind of vellum to a surface is a little bit tricky. Well, maybe not so much tricky, but it takes a little bit of planning on exactly where you want to place your adhesive. The reason being is that any adhesives make the vellum look wet, and it can be a little daunting to decide exactly where you want to place your adhesive to make it not be seen. So I have a couple of different ways to work around that today. The first one is to add a piece of ribbon around the bottom of the card, and I'm adhering this to the raised panel of ribbon. Teeny Tiny Wishes has a sentiment that looks perfect with these stamps, and it almost looks to me like it belongs with the little city scene. So I'm using this with some Shimmery White cardstock to give a little bit of difference between all of the starkness of the black and bring the white in a more gentle way. What I mean to say is, if I were to use Whisper White cardstock, it wouldn't seem as pleasing to me because it's going to be maybe too much of a contrast. I'm not really sure. I just know that I tried the Whisper White, held it up against it, and thought the Shimmery White looked much more natural. So now I'm going to adhere this piece of vellum to these other elements. I'm going to layer the vellum on top of the little Shimmery White banner sentiment holder, but by using some glue dots. And I'm placing the glue dots down strategically so that they will not be as obvious. And I still need to adhere the top of the vellum down to the cardstock. So using my mini glue dots, I'm folding them in half. You could even fold them in quarters if you want an even smaller look. And I'm placing them up near the top where I can place a sequin on top of that and make it look like it's a piece of snow. So that's the solution to this issue. Placing vellum on a card is always fun. I love the look of it. Thinking ahead and finding a solution before I get into the problem is really a key issue for me, and it helps me so much in my crafting. To add a little distraction and bring the eye around in a visual triangle, I'm adding a bow out of the same soft sky ribbon. I believe that the touch of blue with the black and white and then that ivory of the Shimmery White cardstock is a nice addition, and it kind of softens up the look of the city scene. I'm using some more of those mini glue dots, and I'm going to place it on the left side to draw the eye over completely away from the little city scene. It's creating now that kind of a space to where the snowflakes fit in so much more naturally. For the inside of the card, I'm using gray to echo the colors in the front and using the same stamps on the same block that are in the same position. Thank you for joining me for this card tutorial. All of the product links and measurements are listed below in the Show More section of this video. You can also go over to my blog at jennystampsup.com to get more information. Thank you so much for your support and for choosing me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a good day!